What if life is not just about getting by, that you can actually live a life filled with purpose and set a trend for yourself that transcends you?
This is something that is very important when you are looking at young people who are just coming up and who are trying to, decide on exactly how they're going to live their lives, how they're going to handle situations that come to them. That question of living a visionary life always comes to play. How are you able to harness the resources and the things that are within your reach to create an impact? And so when you're talking about living a visionary life, you're talking about living a life of impact. Living a life where your life counts. There are people who within their communities, within their local communities, within their small groups, they are one way or the other finding ways through which they can help one another. There are little things that you can do within your own circle, and these things are very, very impactful.
It just connects to people who say they walk into a church and the way the usher smiled at them, lifted their spirit, and it becomes a testimony for that person just because somebody smiled.
People, instead of going for value, they are going first for money. Go for value. Money will eventually come.
Now, a lot of people will always say, I have this, I want this, but I don't know where to begin. Begin by beginning. What if life is not just about getting by, that you can actually live a life filled with purpose and set a trend for yourself that transcends you? In this noisy world where there is distraction all over the place, what if you can stay focused? What if you can navigate all through the noise and set that vision in place and move it to the next level till it outlives you? That is what we are talking about today. Today we are discussing living a visionary life, what it means, and how to stay on course. And like always, I am not discussing this topic alone. I have with me, by the way, before I introduce the guests, let me introduce myself. My name is Choma Ezani, and this is Minding Your Tomorrow. If this is your first time coming across this channel, it will be good for you to go down and way down to check all the other topics. It's been an amazing journey, just helping people figure out their lives. Today, on this episode, I'll be discussing with somebody that is very close to my heart. Mr. Bem Pever is a filmmaker. He's a producer, a director, filmmaker generally, and he's also a mentor and a boss. Today, I have the privilege of sitting and talking with Bem Pever. You're welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. That was such a long introduction.
Thank you, Bem. Thank you for taking our time to come and then sit with us and just share with us a token of, your journey and teach one or two persons and help them navigate their lives.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we'll just dive right into it.
Yeah.
Living a visionary life. What does it mean?
Yeah. First of all, I want to say a very big thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you.
It's such an honor to be here and share, some knowledge and to share my journey as well. Living a visionary life. This is something that is very important, and it's very important, especially when you are looking at young people who are just coming up and who are trying to, decide on exactly how they're going to live their lives, how they're going to handle situations that come to them. That question of living a visionary life always comes to play.
Yes.
And what does that mean? For me, it means, like you said in your introduction, it means living a life of purpose. Living a life of purpose. And what does that actually mean when you say you want to live a life of purpose? You're talking about living a life that matters. That counts. Living a life that within the ambit of the society or the environment that you find yourself, how are you able to harness the resources and the things that are within your reach to create an impact? And for me, it's always about creating an impact that is lasting.
Yes.
You cannot just say you're doing everything for yourself. You cannot just say everything is always has to be about me, my family, and my immediate people. How do you impact your society?
Yeah.
How do you impact your environment? How do you make something that when you are not here, that can leave
a mark,
and that can live after you?
Yeah.
That's very, very important. And so when you're talking about living a visionary life, you're talking about living a life of impact.
Yeah.
Living a life where your life counts, where you are influencing people. And most times it's not just about people that you know.
Yeah.
People who are not even very close to you, people who might not even know you, people who are very far away from you. That's, for me, is living visionary.
Wow, that is very, apt. For us filmmakers, I'm a filmmaker, you're a filmmaker. I decided to become a filmmaker at 9. Like, I have been seeing filmmaking all my life. What am I saying in essence? For us, the creative, it looks like vision is clear. It looks like most of the time it chooses us. We don't even choose it, and then it impresses on us and pushes us till we find ourselves doing what we want to do. But somebody is out there. It's not a creative. It's not an actor. It's not an artist. It's not a musician. They're saying, how can I live a visionary life? I'm just a banker. I'm an admin person in an organization. Is this visionary life about me? How do I know?
Well, yes. So actually, anybody can live a visionary life.
Yeah.
In fact, everybody should live a visionary life.
Exactly.
So it's not just about maybe we that are filmmakers, because we tell stories, and these stories in a way have a way of reflecting on people's lives. But then say you are just like an administrator somewhere in an office, or you are like a banker like you mentioned, you can live a visionary life. What do you want out of life? Exactly the point, and that's the question. You always have to sit back and ask yourself, what do I want out of life? I've come to realize something, that life is not just about, okay, we go to school, we go to primary school, secondary school, university, and probably maybe do our masters and make, we finish, get a job, and we make.
Yeah.
No. Life is more
beyond
than that. It's beyond that. There's so many things that the world is looking for. So many solutions that the world is looking for. People have not discovered the cure for cancer. And there's a way that you can, impactfully find a way to do some of these things. There are a lot of things that you can do as a person. But first of all, you need to find out, what do I actually want to do to help someone that is next to me?
Wow.
That's very important.
So purposeful living or visionary living transcends beyond us.
Yes.
So when you are just living on a day-to-day, it's about what can I do to help myself.
Exactly.
But when you grow from what can I do to help me to what can I do to help the next person, now you are visionary.
Yeah.
So, and everybody has that thing that they can do to help the next person. It's just identifying. That's what I'm hearing you say, and that is quite profound.
And I'm going to add to that. Sometimes when we say helping one another or helping the world, it doesn't mean, let's say, you want to help Nigeria.
Yeah.
You want to help Africa. You want to help the rest of the world. There are little things within our environment. The environment in which you find yourself, there are little things that you can do to leave a mark. There are people who, within their communities, within their local communities, within their small groups, they are one way or the other finding ways through which they can help one another. Sometimes it could just be a smile. Or sometimes it could just be your hair is looking fine. Sometimes it could be as little as these things. They have a way of impacting into people's lives. Someone might be going through something that is very emotional, something that is very touching, something that is heartbreak or something. But just by your appearance, by living, by your smile, by your words of encouragement, that can stand out for that person. You don't say you are going for a bigger, picture where you're saving the world, or you're looking at Nigeria as a whole, you're looking at a bigger community. There are little things that you can do within your own circle, and these things are very, very impactful.
Honestly, what you just said is very profound for me, because it just connects to people who say they walk into a church and the way the usher smiled at them lifted their spirit. And it becomes a testimony for that person just because somebody smiled. And that is quite profound, which means that you can find purpose in anything. There's a boy who was shown on CNN at some point who was, he always passed homeless people on the street and used to wonder if they eat. So he decided to take it upon himself to make sure that he feeds them. So whenever his father gives him, pack him some snack or something, he goes and then he shares it among them. And then until his father noticed that he was doing that and loved what his son was doing and decided to pack much more for him. And he became something that this boy was doing. And everybody started, funding him to be able to feed more people. Exactly. And it has become something that goes viral. Exactly. So what are you doing? And it doesn't have to be big and large. Like, I love what you said about that. It doesn't have to be big and large. Now, let's say, for instance, that you have found what you want to do, but the distraction is too much. 1 minute fish is 100 naira. The next minute fish is 2,000 naira. There is scarcity of money. Hunger is everywhere. Just staying focused is just difficult, right? How do you navigate in a situation like this? How do you go, so from big to small, and then from small to big and big to small again? How do you stay on course without losing momentum?
Well, this is something that is actually very important because society is dynamic.
Yeah.
And society changes all the time, and things are always changing, going from good to bad to worse to ugly. It's always happening. But there is the question of how do you stay focused? Yeah. How do you stay focused on what you want? And the first thing is that, which is something I said earlier on, you need to define who you are. That's very important.
Self-awareness.
Yes, I'll give an example. I'm a dramaturgist, so I'll give an example. Things fall apart for me.
Yes.
Okonkwo made up his mind that he was never going to be like his father. That whatever happens, he was never, because his father was, a failure, and he made up his mind that he was never going to be a failure. And all through Things Fall Apart, if you should read the story, you begin to see that even all the obstacles that were coming to him, even every single challenge that was coming to him, he decided, this is exactly what I am going to do. And he went for it, and he was on it. Obstacles will definitely come. Problems are bound to come all the time in your life. And interestingly for me as a person, sometimes when I face certain challenges and at the end of that challenge, I see that I have won, it's a victory for me. Yeah. There's a certain level of joy that I have when I experience some of these things. So it's very important to first define what do you want and stay on it. Stay on it. I can give examples. I made up my mind a very long time ago that I was going to make things. I was going to tell stories, and this journey has been full of a lot of up and downs. A lot of I can't go ahead and start telling you all the kind of things that face. But there's a certain situation where you go back into your room and you be like, I actually decided to do this.
I can relate.
You begin to see victories.
Yes.
Victories upon victories.
Yes.
So challenges will never stop. But what I always know is that at the end of those challenges, there's always going to be victory. So staying focused is something that is very key. And I'm going to add this very quickly. We're in a world where people chase money a lot, which is good. I love money. I love to get money. Money is very good. And that's the world we're in. And so people, instead of going for value, they are going first for money. Go for value. Money will eventually come.
That was loud.
It will always come.
That is loud.
Once you go for value and you keep at it, okay, I need to do this in this way. I need to do it right. I need to do it well. Somebody somewhere will always come back to you. Yeah. And that's the way that can help you, help you stay focused on, whatever you're doing.
That is so profound. Go for value. Don't go for money. Value would always bring money.
Exactly.
Value would always bring money.
Yeah.
Wow. You said something and I want to poke you right there. You said that you have always known you wanted to be a filmmaker, and there has been, oh boy, lots of challenges.
Yeah.
Can you let us into just one of those challenges and tell us how you navigated it?
There are so many. There has been so many challenges in my journey. But let me just go way back.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I just came out of
Abuja. The first problem was, what is this? Abuja is so big. I was wanting to go to Lagos, but I'm like, okay, I'm in Abuja, but Abuja is so big. What is this? Who can I meet? All of that. So that became a huge problem for me. Finding what exactly and who exactly I can meet, because I didn't know anybody. So what did I do? So for me, that was a big challenge. It was a huge challenge. I don't even want to go into the nitty-gritty of it when we started making all of that. But I want to go into it from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is what I want to do. Who am I going to meet? What am I going to do? I didn't know there was nowhere online where I can go find a community, or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what I was doing. I was going to the street looking for where they're making films.
Wow.
I'm going around. I am looking where they're making film, until one day I was passing around Area 1. Never forget this. I was passing around Area 1 and I saw a film crew and I walked up. I'm like, I didn't even know what to say. I didn't know what to say to them.
Wow.
I like to make films. I didn't even know whether I wanted to be a producer. I didn't know I wanted to be an actor. So like, I'm interested in what you guys are doing, and that's how the whole journey started. It wasn't easy, but somehow someone said, okay, take my number, and that's how the whole journey started. So that was finding what exactly I could do. If I want to go into the different challenges, there are so many of them.
You know, I'm so glad I asked that question, because I knew that right there in that story it's going to be packed with lessons.
Yeah.
The first lesson that I learned and I got away from that story was that, number one, you knew what you wanted to do. You knew what you wanted to do. Number two, you saw the challenge. The number one challenge. Number two was that you saw that Abuja is quite big. Number three, you devised a strategy to be able to navigate the challenge you are facing.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people would always say, I have this, I want this, but I don't know where to begin. Begin by beginning. Just start by starting.
Just start.
You know, I don't know where to start. Start on the street. Start already. You said you walked from street to street. Because if people are making films, they will be on the streets.
On the streets. That's what I knew. I knew that from school, because I knew they'd be on the street. I'll find them somehow. Yeah.
And then he looked, you looked, and found.
Yeah.
And the journey began. So for that person who is busy giving excuses, oh, Abuja is so big, oh, I don't even know anybody in this town, oh, this is that, just start. Start on the street. Start by starting. Ask questions, inquire, do something, research, whatever it is, do it.
And I'm going to ask that. You see, this question about just start.
Yeah.
We hear it all the time. That's what someone may probably be saying.
Yeah.
We hear it all the time. Just start. And I've heard a lot of people keep saying, just start, just do something. And then they bring in a lot of limitations, like, money is a limitation, access is a limitation. Trust me, your limitation is in your mind.
Yeah.
That's just it.
Yeah.
It's in your mind. It's your mind that keeps telling you there is something that you're limited.
There's something you don't have.
You don't have. Money is just a limitation. And money is just numbers.
Yeah.
Things I've come to find out in recent times, it's just numbers. So by the time you take off these limitations from your mind, that it is possible, take that one step. Just go out. Just sleep in your house. Get up. Go out. There are people who are looking for the skills that you have. All the time.
I don't know if I should start dancing, or I should just carry drum and be beating it in your houses, in your ears. He said there are people who are looking for the skills you have. There is something you have right there, sitting down in that living room, in that office, in that table, wherever you are. There's something you have, and there's somebody willing to pay premium for it. Go find that person. And this is all we can take. Thank you so much, Bem. It was quite a delight, like I expected it to be. Having you sit down and talk about vision with everybody. We would hope to have you again to talk about some other things. Thank you so much for obliging us and coming on this show.
Thank you very much.
So that is all we can take today on Minding Your Tomorrow. We were talking about living a visionary life, what it means and how to stay on course. And we have been talking with the amazing film producer, Bem Pever, and it has been a delight. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I hope beyond all, you start doing something. Until next time when I see you on this channel, my name is Chioma Ezani. Peace out.